world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, and left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We gotta protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no posses. Mola, worshiping pedophiles. Wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system, irrigation, and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was released represent with this passion to speak of. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? We should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the golem bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Nah, bro. Come on. You almost there, bro. Almost there. Survive. Survive. Push up.
I do it dies for Chi-Town. Who am I but Chi-Town? You young fool, I'm too fly to just slide out. Blue sky but high ground. My crown slash helmet. So my aircraft still spit. Can't be tied down like evil sheep building. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I dispelled it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked, the caused my hand, I dealt it. Felt the vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. You bust all of some ice and some veil shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Body for real, monkey velvet. Body you not for Mars, she's a female split. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly, though haters wanna crucify a real man. I still stand with the still a hand, but we're healer man. It's not Cypress Hill, I'm Tuttle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie, I don't follow, I set standards. Catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as you goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper or bruh. You stagnated, well I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm dating space ace of y'all. Buster stuck in the case, face off. Actor to shape the state, use a fake, a fraud. Battlestar intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing the step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just piloting up. Flying a jet, straight to adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm a thorough guy, goddammit. Symmetric apparel of a fly bandit. Mohawk aviators, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A Christmas carol lives what your fans get. Your worlds and perils what I transmit as a transcript. Or I just spit it off the top to see the shit or get off the pot. This shit's hot.
Wants to get his own crew. Everybody wants to get his own crew rich. And then they want the other little people never get a piece of the pie. I don't want to go for the president. I go for you niggas that think that y'all big too. I understand this. That's why you niggas who practice can't stand me. You niggas just know that I know you can't do nothing if you're broke. Listen to me, young people and old people too. Mostly black people, I'm talking to you.
So, y'all really thought that I was done with y'all. Nah, I'm really down on y'all. Fellas up. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bond or whack. Here's a big fact, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, Big Mac, whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. Enough with the chit chat. I see through the side ops. Looking past the sci-fi. Third eye gang cyclops. I don't eat pork, but I will fry cops. For folks, my heart's born as an icebox. I'm saying die ops. From the skybox, you got scope on you pilgrims. The scope with some rules. Some of our folks are still dumb. Deaf and blind to the fact that blood, we gon' have this real show. Warrior spirits inside me. This where it's real from. The world's a stage, page after page, script is played out. They keep us engaged, placate or rage. This is played out. Rules of a dying society should have been disobeyed out. Forehead and knees off the floor should have been prayed out. The draft is on, COVID no issue. Coulda blown it in tissue. Now it's control who blows the whistle to who holds the pistol. The debacle's about who owes who the fiscal. Disregarding the aboriginal issue. We not going back and forth about this or that. Whether your word is bound or whack. Here's a big fact. Yellow, white, red, brown, black. Mau Mau, Big Mac. Whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. A fool is known by his speech. Yet if I don't speak, I suffer defeat. I'm other than we, a sucker or me. Stand on 2 feet, or turn the other cheek. The wise man known by his silence. Mostly disguised compliance. Silence by guidance. From conspiring connivance. Other aspirants of violence. Tyrants of fire. Striking and giants through hiding. I'm striking and defying. And environments and migrants, I'm hearing the sirens. Ring in my ear, they've got indictments. These pedophiles, queers, groupies, and hype men. Alignments, the assignment. I'm not the wisest, I'm non-client. My refinement and confinement and requirements for this climate. Y'all push off the paperwork, or y'all can protest, but they can't escape this work. I vow to progress, don't duck, no rank, drill music for real. My soul they don't possess, real foolish with no deal. Ain't playing with none of them, it's personal, know what the business is. Big Mom says come full circle, so vacate your premises. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bound or whack. Here's a big fact, yellow, white, red, brown, black, Mau Mau, or Big Bang, whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. We're not going back and forth about this or that, whether your word is bound or whack. Here's a big fact, yellow, white, red, brown, black, Mau Mau, Big Bang, whether earth is round or flat. We want our shit back. Akichiwa.
All truth is universal. It's some things that are universal. Honor your mother and father. Want for your brother what you want for yourself. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Hey, Millennial, what's up? This is by Trainway at the Shaolin Temple in New York. You ever seen real kung fu shoes? These are old. I got these gray and black. I had red, but I gave them away. You ever seen like real Shaolin kung fu shoes? These are rubber, but the other ones I have are cotton soles. I like the ground in them, not knees. You don't. It's rubber. But you know how it goes. Oh yeah, those are cool. I have another pair. I think I didn't bring them up. I got all kinds of kung fu boots, shoes. Yeah, like the boots, the kung fu boots. I used those when I was in the military because, I guess Hollywood, they look good. And if you're doing Tai Chi and you have a long robe on, like guns will tell you, I have the robes, the whole thing, all that. With the little Mandarin designs and all that. When you're doing it, right, and you can squat low, right, it looks. And I used to do the lion dance. The lion, like, it's hard, like lifting a person up and turning and shaking with the. And then sometimes I would do I wasn't that heavy at that time, so the guy was pretty strong, so he could lift me up, and then we on the plum blossom like poles, jumping up. I fell many times, y'all, but I was young. Off them poles, jumping up, doing a line, like climbing up and jumping up together. I've done a lot. When we had the dragon, and we all have a pole, and you make the dragon look like it's running around, and you have the that's leading it with the big head. Oh, I've done it all. Oh man. But I used to do forms. I used to do all the wushu. That wasn't no fighting stuff. That's just like exercise, if you ask me. You know what I mean?
In the spirit of the great matriarch.
I used to do it all. It's called in Florida the cultural affair or whatever. Like, it's some beautiful places by schools, the lands, by colleges, and we would train at these colleges, and then we go out there for the fairs, and we have like the setup thing and everything with the drums and the towel, boom, 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 with the old tank. They call it kung fu suits, but they're not. It's just regular clothing. But the ones that have the breathable, no sleeve, 5 or several buttons, sometimes the dragon stitch, Wow, what a life, Yeah. Some people just want to get into kung fu because they get the uniforms, and you love because it's like they have a hard time learning, and it's not a complicated thing to access and learn.
You need a strong mind, like seeing tone spine poked up for the wrong channel when bone wine yoked about that phone line.
I weighed 195 pounds, y'all.
Can't wait to make your lupus for my lovely wife. How could I let you get away like
wow. 195, yo.
Amongst the winners.
I get to 185, I'll be champion. We're gonna have a few days where it's 60, so I really want to be up there working. We have a few days where it's like 65, but we've been getting them, but we're getting some high wind, fire warnings. So I'm gonna be out at night with my thermals and my night vision. I can look pretty far with mine and my scopes, and I can smell. Anyway, I'm gonna be looking for some idiot to start fire, and if God, and it ain't better hope that's not the case, because I can reach out and touch them. I've had enough. I did what I had to do today for 25% of these things to that's what it is. They playing their game, well, if they don't stop, then another 25%. It's not that they gotta stop per se. I really don't give a damn. I know how it ends, but I need them to see. Not come watching in their little vehicles, those others and all that, and you know what I mean? As if I don't know. I mean, I'm not here to make them believe nothing. You know what I mean? I got to turn the notifications off because I'm not going to have all this stuff coming today. Nobody wants to say nothing, but all of a sudden everybody wants to share something. Yeah. They're not supposed to be censoring YouTube, Facebook, and this, that, and other. But this is when you're dealing with individuals or entities that it's benefiting me because it's just further allowing me to know or accept a reality that I'd rather walk away from. And every time it's like, oh, they have no idea. Can't change it. Doesn't matter what. Yeah. Oh well. And those out there that choose not to, in the end they will regret it. Their indecisiveness, to think that where they're at is not applicable to not. I can't really say nothing else. I have a story to tell. With me, it can get a little frustrating sometimes, and it's not like an emotional frustration. It's like I'd rather just stop and just watch everything unfold. I guess I'm supposed to be a visage or for a warning. I don't care about giving warnings or anything, but I keep seeing these things, and then there's times when there's interruption, and I'm like, wow, really? Like that's going to change something? I mean, stupidity. I wouldn't give a damn if they was a mile tall. I wouldn't give a damn if they were as small as an amoeba by their definition. I really can't say nothing else. I just use the term dumb. You know what I mean? Oh, Mac, Big Red Thomas, what's up, beloveds? Yeah. Butcher Block, right? I'm getting them, right? Butcher Box. So you have this app, right? That's called it's an app that when you order stuff, it automatically fills out the stuff, you know? And I updated it, and it still hasn't updated. I'm like, who's in charge of that now? You know, Shop. You can't make this up. And there's veterans who want to know, who are really, they don't want to try because they think that, you know, and we're talking about light-skinned folks. They're like, man, they don't even trust a lot of their own individuals. They're like, no, they probably got MRI, it's probably 3D printed, blah, blah, it ain't local. Now, I can't say that to Butcher Shop because, you know, they might be like, well, here, we're going to refund you. And, oh, whatever, man. I just go to the res and be like, yo, can I have that cow? How much for that lamb? Help them scan it, cut it up. I'm good to go for a whole year or two. Myself, 3 or 4 years with a whole cow and a whole lamb. I can eat for a year. Straight up, 1 meal a day. You know, my own chicken coop, you know, with some Jersey Reds and Wichita Grays and eggs. 1 meal a day I can go. 4 years. Easily. Yet, like I said, it's insidious. And I'm doing the carnivorous thing for a moment, and then it's back to the veggies and fruits, only because for y'all to be proving something. For me, people have to see. Yeah, it's but before I go to vegetables and stuff, I'll be purging myself with I'll show you. I'll be utilizing this to purge my gut. You gotta be careful when you purge your gut. It's good to have a day where you're drinking liquids and you're still eating some sustenance. You don't gorge. I've done that a couple, like we've eaten kind of like 1 meal, big meal, and it's not intelligent to do that, especially when your stomach is very small. But Feel Good's Gut Guardian, this will be after the fact. All right, it comes with a blender and all that stuff. I've got a few of these. You don't want to use a whole lot. You don't want to kill your gut. And then the other one is from that sister. I've had a couple people utilize it who I know, and they say, "Oh, Red, yeah, it's going to work." the parasite and worm detox, and it has a lot of good things. Not a lot. It has the things that are required that literally will kill parasites. And you all have menu, but you're made up of them. So amoebas, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is your gut, the floral. You got to remember a lot of things have been manipulated. And so before I get into that, even if you do eat, you use this. You got to be, you better not be going around. If you got a job at a desk, you want to be close to the bathroom. Maintenance, purge. Not like, but you know, that's going to be a pretty tough one. So I will be partaking in like wild spinach, broccoli rabe, cucumbers, celery, squash, zucchini, red and white or red and yellow onion, shallots, no garlic. Ginger is good for your heart, but at the time of doing this, you gotta let ginger sit aside. Like ginger, let me hold off. Ginger and stuff like that, you gotta be careful when you're like purging your system, even though it's good for your heart. Like, and garlic is good for your melamites, like your bones. Like a lot of you know that when you eat cookies, and I just had a couple cookies last night, and I've always known that sugar goes directly in your bloodstream right into your bones. I want y'all to research that. I'm not gonna get into more, but the thing is, I need to stay away from sugar because y'all already know sugar beats me up. Not diabetic, not stage 1 or 2 or 3, beyond. Y'all seen me live with my check my blood and show you, like, that's like absolute. This right here may assist me with the red light and all that kind of stuff. Getting off of this poison that I've been on, well, now over 20 years probably. Yeah, and about 20 years that I should have only been on for 5 to 6 weeks because of the government. Like I said, they had it's a ratio, the kill ratio thing. It's some weird thing, and I know it's hard to conceptualize this. I just found out one of my homies who I used to see all the time, I didn't know he passed away in 2024. Stacy Gishi, his Navajo brother. Respect this brother. Him, and he used to be with this girl that's always fighting, but she was sweet, but she was always to fight. Navajo women like that. And it hit me hard because I really like him, and you know. And the other one, I'm gonna make a post and put their faces up and the names. I like them. The other one, me and him used to fight all the time. He'd come around. I said, man, if you don't get away from here, I'm gonna knock you out. You are all 300 pounds. I'm gonna slide you in the back on the patio. I'm walking around there by the heavy bag. He come around there because he like drinking OE and Coke 45, you know. And I said, hey man, I said, I'll tell you what. Sit on the patio, sit on that bench, lay your head down. I'm gonna make you something to eat. And he be in there, you know, Red, I love you. I said, keep them homo tendencies to yourself. I'm gonna tell your wife. And I see it when I always saw his wife every week and his children who are grown. One went to college, she's a photographer. I've influenced a lot of martial arts and stuff, and yeah, I'm just gonna share a post. I miss them too. You always have a connection with certain individuals. And I remember when Adrian and all of them were like, where you at? Where you at, Tracy? And I was like, yo, I saw him like a month ago. I never thought about it. Well, I guess they found him. And I just always thought that maybe he went off way to work, you know, or, you know. Yeah, you know, it's like, did he get the did he get the jab? What happened, you know? Anyway, I never asked anybody. I don't do that. But yeah, Nathan and Stacy. Nathan Bilal and Stacy Gishi. Really cool. Me and Stacy were solid. Nate, I used to have to take him up and drive my car up in the mountains. My Jersey, my Malibu, it had a different kind of suspension, y'all. And yeah, what a truck could do, my Malibu could do. And they were like, man, this thing rides like it's on air. how's it doing on these bumps and these roads way up in the mountains is going back on the res. And I just take the 45s out with 3 extra Kimber magazines, and he be shooting out one window and I be shooting out the other window, and we just pop, 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 pop. And then we go back there to see the half Navajo sister, like, you know, and she like, what y'all here for? He wants a couple of 40s, $10 a 40. And I get him a couple of 40s, you know. I didn't drink no OE and all that crap. That was back in the late 70s, early 80s. I drank that orange julep and Mad Dog, Night Train, and Wild Irish Red, and Wild Irish White, and, you know, all that Cokie 900 when it came out. You know, that was crazy stuff. But they, you know what I mean? And, yeah, Nathan Bala, Stacy Gishi. They both was damn 6 foot, something, 300 pounds, some big Mongolians. But they were my bros. You get what I'm saying? Like, really solid. Stacy was sneaking up on me. Hey, man, boy, if you... He was like, yo, come. You know. So I just found out this morning that he had passed away in 2024. I think before I came out here. But like I say, you know, cherish the ones around you. And make sure those around you cherish you as well. Not make them, but you know what I'm saying? I know it's a hard thing to do sometimes. I have so-called family members who I really adore, yet I just don't tolerate stupidity on any level. There's a dumbitude to things that I just cannot fathom. And to think that anyone close to you is not under a spell, well, you'd be surprised. And we're gonna talk about a few things when we read today. I want to play one more song, and then, you know, so make sure everybody comes in and everything like that. And these notifications, I'm getting so tired of notifications. It's just unbelievable. You know, Deb, what's going on? Smasheroni.
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only...
Yeah, anything carbs you stay away from. Yeah, I was even telling T here, man, I'm done with bread. Last night I ate me a everything bagel made by Dave's. I enjoyed it. Now it's just to let me know. Like me, if I eat like an everything bagel that's not made with wheat, but made with, like, you know, grains and stuff like that, because I still like grains. I don't care about all that. That's just that. I like to have real butter on it. Ghee. You know what I'm saying? Some real garlic slices, you know, even a pepper slice or an onion slice. It's delicious. Yet, sometimes you gotta say enough with the bread because it's still carbs. And you don't really need carbs because it's what's been made now. Everybody's been kind of cultivated into that corner to accept it. And that it would, you know, because it facilitates your body's performance to be less. So, potatoes, nah, I'm pretty much done with them. I like a yam. Sweet potato means, I think that's a cross between a yam and potato. But I like yams. I still like yams. I like them roasted on the fire. You just peel them hot and eat them. But you know, still we have to marginalize ourselves. And we are freaks for them dang chocolate chip cookies, y'all. Now, Sprouts has vegan one, right? Plant-based, right? See? And yeah, those I can still enjoy. I can enjoy those. They're not made with that granular, messed up beet, perverted sugar. And those cookies are delicious. Carbs are very low. I forget what it was. I meant to keep a box and show y'all. But you don't need protein in your body unless you're doing some synthetic gear type stuff. Your body will produce, as long as you're getting sunlight and you're getting minerals and all that, and vitamins. If you're getting that from the water, the air, and the vegetables and the fruits, your body produces all the other things, ammonium oxide, all that stuff. Your body makes it. So everybody's been lied to by the FDA, the whole slew of it. Lie. You know what I mean? To see that there's still agencies is mind-boggling. So, but I still like to eat a nice fat steak or whatever. You know what I mean? I just don't think all animals are to be consumed. Anyone eating a dog and they try to marginalize it, well, you eat beef. No, fool. Dogs were never meant to be consumed. Never. Cats, never. Rats, rodents, them things are cleaner than dogs and cats. And they're friendlier. The problem is when people are conditioned, there's wars, starving, people acclimate. In Africa, they catch mice and smoke them and eat the whole thing. And then, you know, and India, they use their hands and everything and certain things they do when making stuff, chewing and cut, you know. And then they wonder why they got these worms all over the place, you know? So, well, anyway, not to get all off on a tantrum of all the nasty things going on. I appreciate everybody being here. I hope your this last so-called week was productive. You know what I mean? We only struggle, hun, because they've created that. Gans, you know what I'm saying? I want to shout everybody out. My apologies. You know what I'm saying? D, I got you, beloved. Let me see here. Eating one time a day is something I'm doing now, but it's true. Got to fix the gut. Yeah, got to fix the gut, guys. You can eat one time a day. I mean, I'm working out again. Like the other day and 2 days before that, I use the dumbbells. I usually don't say nothing, and I do certain exercises. I push the truck. I squat. I do my chants. Sometimes I do silent ones. I sun gaze when the sun is permittable. I don't have to fight through all the crap they're doing to see it. Yeah, I'm able to, through all that crap, I'm able to pierce through it and see the sun. And it's full spectrum, even when you can't even see it. If I know where it's at and I gaze in that direction, I can't explain it. I look right through. And there it is. And I don't like it's a hard struggle. I feel a little, when I'm done, a little lightheaded. So I wanted to read a couple of things, and let me pull this up. Let me make sure I get the right one here. And then we're gonna start. I want to start off with psychic self-defense. I'm gonna hit something again. And analysis of the nature of a psychic attack. I want to read again and then give you definitions, and let's break it down a little more so that way you have a little more what you call it, and then pick up on the power of now. I know y'all enjoy this read, okay? And pick up at this Gesundheit, bro. I want to pick up at this one highlighted, which is very important. And I've highlighted, I've put asterisks and bullet points all throughout it, and read that to you, and then we'll get into tarot if I need a map. It's only a couple of them. The dome simulated stars in other worlds. Like, people are having a hard time accepting the possibility that there's more than one sun here. I don't want to get into the deep psychosis of it, but there's a lot more to it. And Hyperborea, which y'all know, some of y'all found a map that shows you those 4 islands with that black rock that's in a number of texts throughout this history, whether it's they put it there or whatever, it doesn't worry. It's not to be solely focused on, but to have the knowledge if it's plausible, okay? So, I'm enjoying my little tobacco, y'all. Y'all know, hey, come on now, come on. What is that? Yeah, rice too, white rice. They have the forbidden rice you could partake in, but it should be very small, you know what I mean? Grain, yeah, yams are still great, absolutely. They eat that overseas, but I call it adjusting to an environment, exactly. I need to eat small amounts several times over the day, or I feel like I'm going to pass out. That's where you got it. That's why we're reading this, because you're more powerful here. It depends on your blood type. What is your allergies? What is your mineral deficiency? Because a lot of people going to get blood work and they're like, Doc, can you let me know what my mineral deficiency is? And could you write a script based on food? Because your insurance is supposed to cover it, unless they change it. You know what I mean? Maybe because I clean, so I'm always moving. I tried eating once a day, and it was like starving. I hear you. Hey, baby girl Slaughter, what's up? What's going on, mama? How you doing, beloved? Kimia had an excellent live. Yes, he did. Over the lines, beyond. Yes, an excellent. Yes, he did really good. He did very good. I was. There's a lot of stuff going on, and people are coming around. And he stated that he read it a little about 8 years ago. I like I said before Claudio Nocelli and Iron Republic. There's other books out there that have been around for a long time. The Ice Wall narrative, High Jump, and all that kind of stuff. Fishbowl, all that stuff is very old. When we go back to 1940s and 50s, and there are people who wrote certain books and then all of a sudden suicide. And I mean, how are you going to get suicide when people are really interested in a book and it made it to the New York Times or the Post bestseller and all that? I was in before I went to Edinburgh, Scotland, I was in Amsterdam, and I was at a sex museum with my girl, this girl who followed me all around. Went to spy, and they have people watching and researching, and she just fell in love with me. Boom, hence daughter in Germany. Anyway, people were jealous. Anyway, we went to the sex museum, look at the weird stuff. Anyway, I saw this bookstore that was referencing history, and I said, I'm gonna go over here. And so she said, oh, cool. Anything I wanted to do, she was like, oh, but I was like, and they had a couple of books on Antarctica, and you could sit down like a little siesta and have your little wine or a little baguette or whatever, scones, whatever. And I was there. I think I was having like roasted bell pepper, vinaigrette, onion, baguette, whatever, right? And a little glass of wine. They very specific how they pour it. And she was sitting there looking at some girly books and magazines, and I picked up a couple of books about Antarctica. And yeah, and that's when it took off. And then when I went to Edinburgh, Scotland, and I drank the 12 Road drink, it seemed like it was meant for me. They said I was the last one, and it just everything. Was there somebody in there not from here? No, a couple professed that. They professed that many went missing. That's why they kind of stay away and get into school, this, that, and the other. And they are very proficient in being able to express things and explain things in a way where they don't get caught, I guess. I don't know, whatever that was. But did I accept it at the time? I was tipsy like a mofo, but I was eating. I just recall the fact that I just looked at him with a side eye, it was just me. I looked at him like a side eye, like, what the hell? Who is this? But I remember the guy's eye, who closed like this, and my boy half Italian, and then closed like that. And I said, there is something going on. I remember as a youngling, the things walking in my alleyway between my house and Willowdale. You never forget certain things, and the fact that I sustained some of the most heinous beatings for no reason. I was not one of those to go doing this bullying. I was very attentive in school until the days where I couldn't go because I had a black eye or so whatever it was, bruises or whatever, right? And that time you think it's all right because we get whooped in school, but that's not the case. There was levels to it. And I was never a person to get in trouble, except for that one day when Miss Winston told me to be quiet about being an Indian and whooped me with that paddle in the closet room. We had these big closets with the lunch bags, we had no refrigerator in there. And that you could walk around, it's big, and we hang our coats up, and then we go in the classroom, sit down all day in the class, So And over there in Amsterdam, I saw that, and I tell you, that really sparked my interest. And ever since, you know, whenever I see people talking or discussing it, I enjoy that, you know, because I used to talk about it and people say, "Ah, you bugging. What you had to drink? You hung over, blah, blah, blah. You smoking something?" You know what I mean? It was always the case, y'all. It was always the case. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into reading here. I could talk all day. Yeah, get this up. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Oh, man, this is going to be rough on me. That is going to be rough. Oh, my goodness. I know I didn't need it. I got a lot of stuff here, guys. You went for a walk, P?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured he was out there getting a good walk on and everything. Oh, man, what did I do with it? Yeah, cuz I weighed myself 195, cuz. I was like, yeah, man. Yes, sir. Put that over there. Oh, man, did I leave it in the house? Oh, man, I might have left that in the... I hope I didn't leave it in the bathroom. No, I didn't. Yeah, excuse me, guys. I got a lot of stuff right here, and I need to put some stuff away. I got it. Okay, sorry here. Yep. Get rid of that. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with, hey, Alicia and C, what's going on? Hey, Charles, what's up? What's up, love? What's cracking? Let's go ahead and get into it. So it's going to be Psychic Self-Defense by Dion Fortune. Okay. All right. I hope y'all like the videos. I ain't going to do a whole lot of those because they might get a little bothered or whatever. I have one more I want to upload, but it's not going to be, I'm not going to be able to monetize it because it's got music on each video, but it's some funny, I don't know if it's funny, but man. Well, I might upload it, I might not. We'll see, okay? So anyway, this is again, chapter 2, analysis of the nature of psychic attack. Okay, remember we were talking about telepathic suggestion, the key to psychic. The telepathic suggestion is the key to psychic attacks. Ergo, tele vision, programming, channeling, blah, blah, blah. And 3 types of suggestion. Auto-suggestion, A. Conscious suggestion, B. Hypnotic suggestion, C. Suggestion must fit the temperament. You have to create an atmosphere for the suggestion to work, right? If people don't have nothing and all of a sudden you implore them for them to have something and you want them to be sideways, but not everybody can receive it because it's allowable for certain individuals, then you kind of push that. And you push that in music, Hollywood, nuclear family type thing, you know. And you kind of change the history of things and you eradicate the old history and you create a new one, and the dimension of it is really messed up, but it's suggestion, right? All right. Unsuspected depths, how a psychic attack operates. And these are things that are in this section. Cannot take effect until the aurora is pierced. That means breaking through whatever the firmament of your existence or what you see or your beliefs or what's pertinent to you or not. Significance of nightmares, how to distinguish a psychic seizure from epilepsy, correlation of attacks with phases of the moon, psychic. So there's a certain time, a certain period. 5 seasons, why we're taught 4, yet there are those who practice 5 seasons. A psychic diagnosis of this case and confirmatory details elicited in the course of case, interpretation of events. Right now, a lot of people are looking at the wars and they're solidified in their ignorant stance as to why the war's going on, not knowing that people are fighting and killing each other based on a false history, redirection, suggestions, and Hollywood has played the major role. Media as well, and false historical books. And that manipulates the mind, because a lot of you study history and, you know, they talk always about the great wars and it was supposed to be the end of all wars, but it's a play on the psychosis of people. And then you look at the drug thing and who is bringing the drugs in. It's well known they can keep them out. A lot of people hear that China, okay, the new word, that they destroyed a society before this new one with opium, the Brits. Well, they did that with crack with the melanated people here, like they did it over there, and then it affected everyone. They did it in Turkey. They did it everywhere. And people don't know this because nobody's going to go and read it because they're too busy circling the wagon on their idea of why they're where they're at. Yet Rick Ross, after this little bit of time, is walking around and made millions and everything else. And after making his statements, he's permitted to live. What kind of psychosis or what kind of psionic or psychic attack is that? And how is it dealt with people after so many lives have been lost, subjugated, experimented on, and everything else in our community, to which should have never, ever happened or existed? Okay? So the essence of a psychic attack is to be found in the principles and operations of telepathic suggestion. If we put together what we know of telepathy and what we know of suggestion, we shall have a deeper understanding or understand its modus operandi. Well, let's look at those two. Okay? Let's look at suggestion first. In the so-called dictionary, the definition from the Oxford Languages, a noun, as a noun, an idea or plan put forward for consideration. Plan means somebody conspired, right? To have this, in order to have a plan, because it's out of the natural nature or order of things, right? Similar to a proposal, a proposition, a motion, submission, recommendation, advice, etc., etc. Now, the action of bullet point, the action of suggesting something, the action of suggesting something, and here we go. At my suggestion, the museum held an exhibition of his work. That's very subtle. Similar is insinuation, hint, implication, intimation, innuendo, and imputation. Like input, imputation, right? Another bullet point, something that implies or indicates a certain fact or situation. There is no suggestion that he was involved in any wrongdoing. All right. And we can go and look at the Latin word and a noun, concilium and admonitio. But what is the other word for suggestion? Some common synonyms of suggest are to hint. Movies give hints, don't they? Imply. They imperatively imply a lot of things. Insinuate. And a lot of y'all been in relationships and being, I said in the movie, and like the idiots we can be. You ever did that to me? Can you enjoy the movie and let the entertainment be the entertainment without dragging me through the vines right now? And intimate. Okay? While all these words mean to convey an idea indirectly, what would that be called? You know the movie They Live, right? You look at something and it's something there that you don't see, but indirectly it has a foot, windows to the soul, right? The pineal, the control, even in its calcified state, is still operating, but not at its highest point. It sees it, but you don't. It's not conveyed, right? So it's an imputation, right? It becomes an intimation, okay? Suggest may stress putting into the mind, right? Indirectly, suggest may stress putting into the mind by association of an idea. Very practical, impractical, but very practical. Awakening of a desire or initiating a train of thought. So the whole purpose of these morbid professors and this gay thing, having these little gay books with children, what was that to imply, input, suggest? And what was the turnout? When you have a two-party system, everything is a spell in some form, right? Right? Now in psychology, though, Suggestion is the process of sending out stimuli, verbal, visual, oral, right? All right? Consciously or unconsciously, planned or not. Imitation is the resultant phase of the same social process and refers to reacting favorably or unfavorably, consciously or unconsciously, to the given stimulus. Well, let's have a look at the word telepathy. Telepathy is the supposed ability to send thoughts and ideas from one mind to another without using physical interaction or the normal senses. It's a type of extrasensory perception. Telepathy is the idea that people can communicate with each other without using speech or signs. So none of this, round it up, halt, forward, retreat, you know what I mean? Some research studies have found favorable results of telepathy, for telepathy. But the existence of telepathy has not been proven. We know it has. Some parapsychological research studies have used card guessing experiments to test telepathy. And in these experiments, one person, the sender, thinks of a card order, and another person, the receiver, tries to guess the order. You know, the sleight of hand magic with the mind. Now, related topics could be the telepathy tapes, which y'all can pull up. I think there's a small book on it, and telekinesis, to be able to move things, right? The ability to move objects with the mind, they say, which you know, the mind doesn't do that. No, it's a consortium for it, but it's the heart, it's the power, the influx, upper thoracic. And there's a little more to it. By suggestion, you have this power, but you have not been nurtured. You've been lazy, not on purpose, because everybody around you have been consortium of those things implied based on the conspiratorial thing to be able to control you in a manner that is unnatural, not of your nature. Excuse me. Was that good enough? Okay. Suggestion is of three kinds: auto-suggestion, conscious suggestion, and hypnotic suggestion. Okay? Subliminal, right? The distinction, however, is not as fundamental as at first sight appears. For the goal of all suggestions in the subconscious mind is the same, and they do not become operative until it is reached. There's a paradigm, there's a vector that has to be crossed, and it has to be reached once it's crossed. Even if it's minimal, but you're easy subjects, okay? I hope I'm not deflating some big egos. If I am, good. All right? For the goal of all suggestions in the subconscious mind is the same, and they do not become operative until it is reached. Suggestion is distinguished from threats and appeals to reason by the fact that these aim at a mark in the conscious mind. It's target. Okay? Mark, right? Bullseye, whatever you want to call it. If they succeed, they owe their success to the acquiescence of the conscious personality, whether coerced or voluntary. People over there killing each other don't even know each other. They're probably related. Based on what? The state, false leaders, unscrupulous principles, or even the murder of those close to them, and they say it was on their soul, but those are the very people they were fighting in the first place. Anyway, but suggestion does not make its appeal to consciousness, but aims at laying its hands upon the springs of action. Bouncing board there, something leaping from, right? In the subconsciousness and manipulating them from there. 10 CIA bases between Russia and Ukraine, right? On the Ukrainian side, you had Russian-speaking Ukrainians who were identified and supported Russia. Well, if you go and kill them, what do? You infuriate one side and you have cause for war. Who would do that? Well, those insidious ones who have been bastardized, who play a major role. These are only words that I'm using, or terms or phrases. And it's for you to determine. I didn't have to say it that way, but there's many ways you could say it. And you see how it is. Look at Papua New Guinea. What makes the people over there, these hybrid Asians, think they can go over there and kill these indigenous people like they did in Australia, like they came here and did to us? And when they went over there to so-called Canada, Green, fake Easter Island, the Caribs, place they call Africa, where the majority of them people ain't even from there. They're from the places of Europe. How was it accomplished? Well, if you take a bunch of children and you nurture them and raise them in utter ignorance, that's how you create it. And to the demise, you can have them all fighting and killing themselves to keep certain numbers while you're prolificating in machinery and weaponry to better destabilize, and also to get you to a certain point where if they wake up, now you say, well, this is what we could do. We can kill all of you. We've taken enough children. We have soldiers that we've nurtured who have women down here, keep making babies and keep them away from you and have them have hostile intentions and hate of you, even if we put them among you. You get where I'm coming from? So is that a psychic attack? Absolutely. But it's the formidable part is it's physical, it's tangible. Okay? Now, a floorboard, anyway, we might compare these two processes to the operation of pulling at the bell knob outside the front door and taking up a floorboard and twitching the bell wires themselves. The result will be the same in both cases. The bell will ring and threats and argument pull the bell knob with varying degrees of emphasis. From the persistent tinkling of moral suasion, moral, not persuasion, but moral suasion, one and the same, to the resounding peal or appeal of the blackmailer. Suggestion twitches the wires at various points in their course. If that ain't partially subliminal, which is also psychic, that gets bodies to move, telekinesis, right? I do certain actions and make something happen, even if it's outside and you don't know that I made it happen. You know, it's like these people, immigrants, they utilize to set fires. How many of them have they rounded up and caught actually in the act of doing it? That's Newsom. That's the government. That's your fake government. They all play a role based on Black Pope, White Pope, Vatican, and NASA, MI5, NASA, Mossad, CIA, whatever. Okay? It's a big network. No, y'all numbers are greater. They've got you in a very deplorative, weak, and fearful base. You're the antithesis of what they did, and this is psychic, whether you like it or not. Television, channeling, programmings, and then you feed on it. Now, I watch war movies all the time because I'm I can't even express what it is. I don't feel nothing. Somebody say, but that is so, those spells don't cast the work on me. I would just look at you and say, well, you're the fool that holds on to something that guides and triggers you. So if they could trigger you, what is that? Is that not based on commands or structures of command that have entered your space and control your narrative? Is it by suggestion, imputation, stimuli? Doesn't matter what you've done, where you've been, who you think you are, because all those things are also a form of, well, through suggestion and idealism and a whole slew of magic, which again would be psychic, wouldn't it? Okay. I hope you got something from that. The science of the sacred secretion. Okay. Snoo, what's up, baby girl? What's up, mama? Well, it's all for the girls, but Snoo, you my number one. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. All right. Again, this is by Victoria Laou. Everything in the universe is governed by natural laws and rhythms. It is these patterns that dictate our biology, chemistry, and physiology. They dictate it by a natural staple, not what we're dealing with right now, that is manipulation. You believe everything they say, right? Is that not in a form suggestion? And there are no exceptions to these rules. That's why schools are crap. And they pair one against each other with A through F. Is that the way it should be? Shouldn't no child be left behind? Oh, that implies something else. Well, we're going to make sure we put them in a certain school with a small yellow bus, and we'll get them to the degree as if it's supposed to be meaningful and pleasant for the parents. Parenting. Y'all consider yourselves U.S. citizens. Well, that's a person. That is not a living thing. That is a construct outside of itself, but based on false white superiority or a denomination of black insignificance. That's funny. Anyway, what is the rule of thumb there? Is that not psychic in a form that they have not to manipulate no more because you have curriculum, which is a spell, and teachers who act as Jesuits? And there are no exceptions to these rules. The cosmic energies that influence our reality don't have opinions about what is good and who is bad. And teachers allowing all that homosexuals for children, listen to a nasty government that has no place in this world to say who and what children should be, with doctors willing to mess with endocrine, hormone, by using synthetic things to make them be what they're not. They merely respond to our unique vibrational output. Archaic algorithm and all that good stuff. The vibrational output is based on our thoughts, actions, and beliefs, which can be epigenetically passed down through the generations. However, these can also be altered by outside factors. Monsanto. Oh, we remove FD yellow. Well, how many of them are there? And what other than that? What other than that? We know that the big industry, the purpose of it, we think was for warfare, but it was to pollute and toxify the freshwater springs and rivers. But nobody knew that because they're too busy fighting wars and competition with one another, egos and everything else, while talking about we're good Christians and Muslims. That's not just suggestive. That's magic. And what is magic? Is it not telepathy in some form or another? However, these can also be altered by outside factors such as lunar cycles, solar flares, and electrical radiation. Oh my gosh. There was nothing wrong with UHF and VHF. It worked fine for a long time. All of a sudden, they wanted to employ something. The brother created the wireless cell phone, and here we go. 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and yet I told you about studying about Gwen, and yet they still stand around and they say they're not utilizing them. And you accept it because that's the government talking to you, and they must be right. Big government was never to exist, yet here it is. Is it suggestive? As everything in the world is energy, a construction of our own belief systems, it is essentially that our own belief systems, are they yours? It is essential that we develop our own consciousness, awareness of awareness. I see you watching me as I'm watching you. According to the German Buddhist philosopher, Herbert Gunther, is a book. In order to take advantage of the full array of energy that surrounds us, this is done by developing our higher faculties through a stimulated, listen to this. This is done by developing our higher faculties, through a simulated mind and righteous living. So you have to convey this and change your way. The dynamics of you changing, it doesn't mean you're not sexual and this, that, and other, and you don't enjoy things. It means all the other things that are proverbial that go along with it. Your diet, exercise, the fact that they make you think you have to eat 3 times a day, which is very toxic. And then the employer that you get to this point, your stomach is very big, and then they can feed you all kinds of toxins or poisons, and that's the bioweapon. Is a bioweapon not based upon magic? Well, the incursion of, because why? It's simplistic and it's subtle. Millionth of a nanogram or 100 millionth of a nanogram. I mean, think how things work. Besides what they bop into you, all right, to slowly break you down and keep you weakened. There are countless ways of empowering this, such as building spiritual communities grounded in love, prayer, and ritual, following the practice of the law of attraction, consuming a natural diet or regular meditation, and a developmental approach that is increasing in popularity in the preservation of the sacred secretion. Lower sin, upper Christ. Balance in the middle, right? Lower sin, Lucifer. That's what it is. Grounding, right? Crown, God, right? Endowed, information. So we block the information you can't remember. We make aluminum and dimension didn't exist until 1979, 77 it started, but truly existed in 79. Affected a lot of those of my generation, grandparents and great-grandparents, and some of your relatives now because it's in shots and everything else. Plastics. PFASs are playing another role, right? In the military, they have us using all kinds of chemicals. It's safe, and a lot of them didn't use it. It's what's required. Low visibility, low radar detection, blah, 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 blah. You know, the whole gambit. Suggestion, telepathy, you know, something that's implied. The sacred secretion is the title given to the rich fluid that ascends and descends along the central nervous system. It is an internal ointment that bathes our pineal gland, the part of the brain that connects our physical being to the non-physical plane. We are too busy living in the physical. Hard to detach from it when that's the only guidance you have. Easy to make suggestions, to put things into your head, subliminally or however, input, right? And then what do? You act upon them as if it's natural. So is that not channeling? Is that not programming? Is that not lying to your vision through false histories, books, the rewrites, and everything else? Okay, you got that. Terra Infinita, map the dome worlds. Claudio Nasilli, no can found them. That's our brother. You know the book. And they got new ones out. The dome simulated stars and other worlds. And whenever you hear people talking about they were in Antarctica, this, that, they prove that the Earth is round, a spinning ball. It doesn't matter if they've accepted it to stay stuck in the matrix of lies. They're conveying to convince you, to keep you further in purgatory, far from your truth, and you accept it, and you ride along with it as if that is natural. These individuals would use science, which is the unevolving and de-evolving and the breakdown of things to create something else, as if it's imperative that you accept that because you have been conditioned to do so. Subliminally, when you go into school, what's the first thing you see when you walk through the door on the teacher's desk? This big, fake-ass spinning ball. Then what do? Import a science with error all over the place of math, 93.6 million miles away the sun, and blah, blah, blah. And most of you are not even artists to understand how prisms, how factors, and how visual 3 miles that you see is your vision 2020. Why is it not? You don't have the right minerals and this, that, and the other, and it's contagious of the branch chain amino acids and everything else allow your body to function. So you're broke down, you're wearing glasses, contacts, you're wearing synthetic weaves in your head, perming your hair, this, that, and the other, because you don't want to have an afro or this, that, and a lot of pale skins got curly hair. And y'all just go ahead and you're heating, and you think that it's natural because you want to fit into something that was never meant to be. But that's the absurdity of the world we live in. Just small little things, and they're going to show you that there's really something going on that's not good. So anyway, before continuing along this thorny path, it is also important to stress about the different existing dome worlds, as each of them have at least one dividing dome that serve as a barrier membrane that also in turn functions as a means of separation from its environment to allow or block everything that exists on the outside from the inside and vice versa. Those are not stars. Stop worrying about what they are. Who knows how they're up there and why they're up there, but I can guarantee you they're not real. And means, excuse me, from its environment to allow everything on the outside from the inside and vice versa. Of each of them, following the point in my last book, The Dome and Outer Space Projections, year 1728, The dome and outer space projections, year 1728, we'll be getting into the last reset. The last reset, we discussed the particular dome existing within the known lands, within the first ice walls. As it is possible that a great simulation carried out by the colonizers since the beginning of the new humanity, and y'all know you've seen the maps where there's no snow, no ice walls. The almanac is very important, isn't it, that we created? After 1728 onwards, 1728 and before that, there was no light-skinned folks as perceived in the conscience of ideology. Yeah, white folks, you didn't even exist by the narrative. Not saying you didn't exist, but not as you think today. In the skies generates confusion in modern theories that today little is questioned. But interestingly, the curious thing is that in this exploration carried out by Helen, replicas of these skies have been seen, although with differentiation, with respect to the constellations, which are also coincidentally under custodial or Anunnaki control. In this way, we can confirm that the domes that simulate the skies we know today have been implemented recently in several dome worlds. In addition to the known lands, thus, we can find several simulated stars in the extraterrestrial skies of other worlds. This is also an important step in the theory we previously presented about Terra Infinita, the dome theory, and the cellular theory as a structure of the universe of worlds that could be intrinsically connected and move towards the complex final systems that we are just beginning to understand. It's almost, how could we fathom something like that? They have no problem with that being known, but the problem is today it's growing. It's problematic for them. Ergo, why you have these idiot who turned it over to his son, standing there looking like he's off of something called, Buck Rogers or something, and, Space 1999, and you will earn nothing and you will own nothing and you will be happy. What kind of psychosis is going on there, right? How did people go this long? Why are people out there still fighting? It's not like they're going to come on YouTube and sit here and watch this. They're watching Telegram, where they're allowed by France to see the war and the decimation of life, the destruction and everything else. It desensitizes and incites something else, and it makes people angry, and people want to go through the network, and I want to join the war, chosen. The foreign fighters, right? Just recently, not too long ago, are being told that they would probably be charged with war crimes. Well, on both sides, you have people executing prisoners of wars and doing vile, inhumane things, and yet they want you to believe that animals are bad. Just like they got y'all all setting up mouse and rat traps. Yet, rats and mice are actually very pleasant, wonderful, clean. And we're not talking about the experiment ones. What year was that when all those experimental rats and mice all of a sudden got out? We know that was intentional. Huh? I mean, they took the tick and created Lyme disease. I mean, who remembers that? Jersey and New York, y'all got guys walking around with big old swole legs, prison and everything else. Then not too long ago, they had the zombie deers and the zombie chickens and turkeys and all that. Zombie cows. What experiment was that unleashed onto the population to cartel, to starve you, to get you to a point where they can make you eat what they want that is not going to be beneficial to your pineal, drink water because you'll be thirsty, that's full of all kind of chemicals, and experiment, come by, collect your body and dissect it and do what they want until they get down to finding out how to live forever and kill you all off. The dome in outer space, is that not some form of magic or something, or telekinesis, or, oh, that's moving stuff, right? Well, if they move you by suggestion, and you run with it, fighting and killing each other, what do you think? Spell casting and all that other stuff, right? Telepathy. That's a big thing with the CIA. Seers and all that. So the dome in outer space projection. We already covered why would they lie to us, the false universe. We covered the simulated outer space. And we covered, obviously, the one before, and we covered the social manipulation, blah, 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 which is pretty much suggests to what we've been dealing with, right? Discoveries, right? What else has been hidden from us? We covered that. This doesn't mean this is all information, but it's a good way, and it got another stage, to put you in a direction, to manipulate your mind, you know what I'm saying? And that way you don't pay attention to what may be plausible or, you know what I'm saying, a reality compared to the one they gave you. Cathedrals and structures of Great Tartary. As we mentioned before, there are vestiges of great structures created by the Tartars with their technological advance, but also many were left standing during the transition from the 6th generation to the 7th during the reset of 1728. Therefore, many new humans, and you know, a lot of great cities, I mean, trust me, are under the oceans and not that far off your coastline. I mean, great cities, y'all, submerged. I mean, in the 1900s and the late 1800s, they were drowning our people on our land here. Over 200 of lakes and stuff that never existed, not even on maps, exists today. Redirected. Some people in their sleep at night when they unleash the floodgates. You know what I mean? Redirected channels of certain lakes, or rivers, I mean. All right. Man. Anyway, to the 7th during the reset of 1728. Therefore, many new humans used these great fortresses and the manipulated history, turned them simply into human creations of the last generation, when in fact this is wrong. St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow, Russia. This cathedral is very famous for its large, colorful domes, being unique in its design, icon of Russian architecture, that entails great complexity in its construction. They didn't build that shit. The official book, excuse my language, books date this creation between 1555 and 1561. Cologne Cathedral, Germany, known for its impressive Gothic spires and its colossal size, worthy of an invisible precision even today with human technological progress. Its flying buttresses and vaults even add great complexity of engineering progress, and it is said that construction began in 1248. The famous Notre Dame Cathedral, France, the most worldly known Gothic, they had to call it Gothic, cathedral, famous for its unique architecture and large stained glass windows, its accuracy is also not placed in the timeline, as it is said to have been started in 1163. The Milan Cathedral, Duomo de Milano, Italy, okay? One of the largest in the world, also with a Gothic facade, and known for its statues. The amount of sculptural detail suggests a workmanship impossible to replicate for the time due to its advanced knowledge in the use of materials. Started its construction in 1386, they say. Hagia Sophia Cathedral, Istanbul, Turkey, converted in time into a mosque and then as a great museum. This work has a huge dome and a unique architectural advance. Its construction dates from 532 to 537. The Kremlin, Moscow, Russia. A complex of historic buildings, isn't that St. Petersburg? No. A complex of historic buildings that also happens to be located in Russia, a place where the sinners' cores of the Great Tartary abounded. This complex includes palaces, cathedrals, and the durability of its creations suggests advanced construction techniques and deep knowledge of engineering. The beginning of its creation dates back to the 17th century, although the original palace is said to have been started under Ivan III. Any of y'all saw the picture of Ivan III? An Abkhazarian, a Negro? Anyway, the Alhambra, Granada, Spain. Its construction dates back to 1238, and it's well known that the so-called Negroes of the Moors built all of that. But at that time, Temple of Heaven, China, built in 1406 and 1420. Wait a minute. It was a Negro, what was his name, that united all of China? They tried to say he was African with some bull crap. We know that the Mongol herds invaded. Even Genghis Khan was a Negro. We want to get into Prestigion and Hindustan and all that other stuff, okay? Which there's a division that creates all this, so you have to keep finding more information, right? The Palace of Versailles, France, built in 1623, they say. Great Wall of China. China began construction in 445 BC. That thing stretches all around the world, and they didn't build it. The Chartres Cathedral, France, in 1194. Santiago de Compostela Cathedral in Spain, 1075. St. Paul's Cathedral, England, in 1675. Neuschwanstein Castle, Germany. Neuschwanstein, my German sucks right now. Castle, Germany, in 1869. Seville Cathedral in Spain in 1402. St. Isaac's Cathedral, Russia, 1818. St. Mark's Cathedral, Italy, 828. Cathedral of the Assumption, Russia. We know they're not cathedrals. We know the Vatican's a liar. All right, with those satanic pedophile homosexuals. 1475, okay. Cathedral of the Holy Family, Spain, 1882. Mosque Cathedral of Cordoba, Spain. Seen it, been there, 785. Strasbourg Cathedral, France. Strasbourg in France. 1015. Temple of Karnak, Egypt, 2000. BC. Anyway, Winchester Cathedral, England, 1079. Durham Cathedral, England, 1093. Santa Maria de Fiore, Italy, 1296. St. Peter's Basilica, Vatican, 1506. Himeji Castle, Japan. The Himeji Castle, Japan. We just forget about that's not Japan, but the island of Anu. But anyway, 1333. And Canterbury Cathedral, 1070. Them people there today didn't build not a damn thing. Okay? Now, the list is extensive, and one can add thousands of other examples of colossal structures that do not seem to be well placed in their time if we take the timeline and technological advancements of the human era. And they didn't mention the ones here, which were even more phenomenal. Even the cathedral here that riled that of Rome, where Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris fought in. That big amphitheater. And the statues that have long been gone. So next we'll begin in chapter 12, the sacred trees and the Anakim giants, which I think you'll find very interesting. Okay. Now, what was that? I guess I'm making suggestions. I'm casting spells or whatever. Telepathy. I want y'all to actually not just hear, but to feel what I'm saying, to allow yourself to acquiesce something different, to remove all the ignorance, the subtle ignorance that they've given you, and allow yourself to stop being the dichotomy of the world they lied about and created that is fanciful to them because of their perversion. Hey, ML, what's going on? What's going on, beloved? Let's see if anybody... Hey, P. D, Papa D, what's going on? I ain't like... I'm just calling you PD. I ain't calling nobody Papa or Daddy, but that's some, no Diddy. What's going on, beloved? I hope y'all enjoyed that. I really do. And I told y'all we don't have to do all the cursing and all that. That was my little former Charleston Wayne. I can actually be worse than him 1,000 times, but I feel that I have people that should be here, I guess. And for the people who subscribe, I appreciate you. My thing is not just to read, which I loathe. It's enjoyable. But to hopefully paint a picture that you can see something. I cannot. Some people say, well, you're pointing us in a direction. No, I'm just giving something else that might spark something or might reignite something. I'm just sharing information that could be based upon facts or it could be totally lies. Every one of you have within you the ability, even through all this toxification and this bioweapons and everything else, whatever terms you want to create, that you have the ability to surpass all of that. All right? Now, I wasn't kidding. If they took 2,800 years, and just chilled out, yeah. But you see the beast of burden. You see the part that you play in it. Every one of you, right? No, I'm not going to beat you up. Don't worry. I'm not here to do that today. But you see the part y'all playing. Okay? And don't come here if you decide to finally come after taking you so long to make up your mind, which they're keeping you from making up your mind. They're keeping you conflicted and confused. And I know a lot of you think that, oh, this is my choice. Shut up. No, it isn't. Now I'm smacking you upside your head. You didn't make a choice. One way or the other, you lament in your place of despair and segregation and desperation, thinking that you're going to rise to the occasion, that it's going to happen outside, regardless of what I say. I'm not giving y'all everything. I'm just giving you a little thing tantamount to the reality of what you're capable of. But everyone has choices. But y'all thought that I was supposed to go somewhere? It goes nowhere. Okay? I appreciate that. Did y'all enjoy it? Did y'all get anything? Well, I hope so. I hope that it was beneficial. I hope that you heard something. It'll put you in a direction. I'm going to Benson. I'm going to go and pick up some eggs until I find somebody. There's somebody out here who has chicken coops. I really want to get out here and build a chicken coop like I did on the res. It has to be fenced in, but right now we got to get up here and we got to build this patio, and we got to get some walls up, and we got to get the next patio built up. And it would be nice to have people who knows how to do things and measure and use, protractors and squares, and know how to do the angling on the band saws, and well, not the real band saw, but the saws, at 13, 15 for cant, you know what I'm saying? It'd be nice to have people who really want to work and build, who could swing a hammer without somebody, and they already know what's got to be done, who could draw and get together and say, why don't we do this? And share the little fiat all together. And the donations are appreciated, guys. We're going to go pick up some wood today or tomorrow, depending on, it's supposed to be high wind, so 20 feet wouldn't be ideal for us to be going down the highway, because if we don't have like 50 of them, they would snap and break and cause a very bad catastrophe on the highway, on the interstate. Anyway, appreciate you guys. I mean, we can get in the right lane and drive slow. It's no problem. But I'm going to get some eggs. And I want to eat a couple of boiled eggs besides what we've been eating. We have a lot of pasta. But I appreciate y'all so much. And I actually purchased 3 books yesterday, and the rest of it's going to go to all the wood and some more galvanized nails and some screws. And I'm doing my best to get screws and stuff not made in China. It's just, if y'all don't know, I got to get a grinder. I've been looking at several. I was thinking about just ordering it off of Amazon, because I'm going to get some rebarb. I want to do some things that are very important. For those who know. Okay, let me see here. Prime, because I paid for Prime. Okay. There's quite a few tools we got to get, but I want to see what this one is. Thank you for keeping me logged in, you bumhead. So I'm looking at, well, they're anywhere from like 30 to, up. All right. So I'm kind of looking at getting the Craftsman. I'm not messing with no Don Chings and all that stuff, but I'm looking at Craftsman or DeWalt. DeWalt's like 85, 100 and something dollars. Craftsman and the Milwaukee is pretty good, but it's between those three. Like I said, between the DeWalt, the Craftsman, and the Milwaukee. Well, Milwaukee's are really, really good. A lot of y'all know that. But the Milwaukee and the DeWalt's are like, anywhere from 75 to 118 to $130 for those who actually know. And then I actually saw on here where they actually had, let me see. I'd probably just get it from Home Depot. The cutter, rebar cutter, and benders, they have a lot. So the rebar cutter with rebar benders, absolutely going to be required and needed. Those, Yeah. I mean, from the physical one, that's like $67. We're going to be using a machine because it's most viable. And like I said, the machines are going to run anywhere from like $230 to, you know, $1,000 something. So when the rebarb time comes around, I'll put away enough to be able to get one well within the 500 mark. Or if we have enough lumber, you guys help, I'll just take one of my checks and, you know, one of the things, so I've always got a couple thousand left over, but I'll just take it and go buy one for like $300, $400, $500 just so we can have it, and then a rebarb cutter, which is a little spicy too. But the donations will add up, and when we get to that point, that'll be off. We'll have a couple of platforms up, probably a few platforms before it's time for the rebarb, and you know, what I'm going to experiment with making a couple of little boxes to make bricks, and hopefully there'll be some other people here, and yeah, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to share that with you. What books did I order? You'll see them when they get here. You know, when I get books, I go down, I'm like, hey, look at this. You know what I mean? But I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I know they want to stifle and stagger. I'm not cursing or anything. This is what they do. They're so out of whack and out of tune. They got to wait till somebody comes along and goes, chill, let it be. And that's pretty sad. And anyone who wants to be controlled that way for fiat or their perversions of existence, that should show them that they shouldn't be in it. But who am I? Some say, but the monkeys and the lions in the zoo, to which they shouldn't be, you got to throw them a steak and a banana and a coconut every once in a while, right? I'm going to leave it at that. Appreciate you, my sisters, brothers, and I'll see y'all later.